We're here.
What's up, everybody?
It's that time.
It's
time
that
of the
time.
week.
Friday night.
It's not that time of the month. It's that time of the week.
It's that time of the week. The best time of the week. Friday
really
night
is.
shenanigans.
So it's just, this is an OG, man. It's just, this is how the show started. It's me and Chad and Megan, who's apparently our number one fan. I don't know why. But no Paul tonight. No Rob tonight.
Oh my gosh, Megan is the best. Don't forget to push record.
Megan is not the best.
Megan is the best. Hold on. That's my girl.
See the gummy worm? Anyway,
Dude, this thing smells good, too.
I bet it does. What's it smell like? Gummy worm or somebody's body where it may or may not have been?
It depends on the end.
Oh, okay. Anyway, so we got some stuff to cover tonight. It's Friday, so hopefully you guys are going fishing tomorrow. Hopefully you have a beer with us. Hopefully you have some stuff to talk about tonight too in the comments, because that's what makes the shows awesome, is when you guys talk to us about everything that you got going on with fishing. But tonight we are drinking Sam Adams Summer Ale. I'm not a big ale guy at all, but this will do it. Dude, that thing is so loud on the mic. It's awesome.
Yeah, I know.
It's incredible. But anyway, Samuel Adams Summer Ale. I struggle to read. Sorry. But yeah, 5% alcohol. Is this what we had last week in the keg?
This is what we always have in the keg, just in bottle form.
Okay, because this stuff got me a little messed up last week, because it was quite a bit heavier than your regular
It's
beer.
a 5. It's a 5.2.
5.3.
Is it 5.3?
Yeah.
It's a 1%, a little bit more than what like a Bud Light is. Like, it's not super heavy by any means. However,
When you're drinking a lot of it.
well, the thing is, what I'm finding out with going draft here in the keg is that you can't keep track of. What's up, Cody? Thanks for joining us, bro. You can't really keep track as well as how much you're drinking. We're drinking out of those 1 liter mugs. I don't know exactly, like 2.5 beers in one of those mugs, and
Yeah, maybe 3.
you can sit here on this show and polish off 3 of those bad boys.
Yeah.
And the draft is so cold and just goes down so smooth, you just get lost.
It's like 6 to 9 beers. Pretty good ratio, in my opinion.
Yeah, probably. And I'm going through a sixter in about a week.
Nice.
So,
Absolutely. So, anyway, it's Friday. We got some fishing stuff to talk about. I think we should start this off in the way that we're trying to do. Oh, wait, hold on. Dan has a good comment. Dan, thanks for the comment. He's talking about the video that he sent to Messenger of the snakehead with the ammo through.
Arrow.
Yeah, with the arrow. So I think what he's talking about is that video that Fat Cat Newton put out maybe a week or so ago, where he basically was fishing in the Potomac, because he does a lot of Potomac fishing, and he saw an arrow like moving around in the water, grabbed it, and there was a snakehead that was still on the arrow. Now the crazy thing was, the snakehead, like, it had healed around the arrow. Like, the fish was not crippled and dying. Like, that fish was going to live. Whether that arrow was going to come out is another thing, but like, that fish was going to live.
Clint, hey, thanks for joining us tonight.
Yeah, Clint's on. This is special for me because we always try to get Clint to come on and mess with Martin. I hope Martin's on too. So we can all mess with
Dude,
him.
Martin is definitely going to be on tonight. Martin made a specific Facebook post for tonight because he doesn't have a tournament tomorrow, so he can just hang out in the garage and chill.
True. So before we really get into it, I definitely want to talk about our sponsors and how awesome they are. We got to give the shout out. We do it all the time, but it's important. UMA Lorcos, you guys are, Mr. Tyler Hawthorne, Maryland-based crankbait, custom crankbait company. It doesn't get much better than that, guys. If you haven't used them, please, please, please give it a shot. Don't just take our word for it. But they are absolutely incredible. Can we pull that up? Oh, there it is.
There
you
it
see
is.
it on the screen, UMA Lorcos, or UMA Lorco. Like, please, if you haven't tried one, try one.
Dude, they're the best deflective balsa wood cranks on the market. He's got the flat sides. He's got the little pudge, which is his rounded square bill. He's got a couple poppers, and who knows what else he's coming out. He's got really good paint. Phenomenal crankbaits. I have one on deck tied on literally at all times. Literally. I mean, over my Megabass, over my OSP, UMA's tied on. Straight up. So, big shout out to him. And then it's almost frog season.
No, it's definitely frog. It's frog season now.
Is it frog season now?
It's frog
Okay,
season.
well, it's frog season now. So if you're not throwing tailored lures from Mr. Warren Taylor, we don't know what you're doing.
Well, the cool thing is that a lot of the snakehead anglers have been catching fish on frogs now for about a month, and that means that the bass are not far behind at all. Well, we'll jump the gun slightly talking about the tournament last week or last Saturday, but I actually had a number of blowups on a frog. I know one was a snakehead because I set the hook on it, and its teeth must have been in the perfect spot to cut the line. But it did one of the typical snakeheads, jump 6 feet out of the water when you set the hook on it.
Like a missile.
Yes. So I know the snakeheads are eating the frogs. I think a few of the hits that I had.
There's old Martin.
There he is. I think a few of the hits I had Saturday were bass. Just the way that they hit it, they didn't have that pop. They kind of toilet bowled it a little bit.
Right.
One of them was very serious. I really wish I could have seen that fish, but it was just one of those where you reel down on the frog and you never felt weight, which sucks. But yeah, the frogs, it's happening. I mean, you can catch fish on frogs right now. Now you got to kind of commit to it all day, I think.
There's old Robbie, Riverboat Robbie.
Yeah, Riverboat Rob should be sitting right here, Rob. What the hell, man?
Damn it, Rob.
But anyway, so yeah, definitely get your hands on some of Warren's frogs because they're freaking awesome. And then we got to talk about my personal favorite, smallmouth fishing, and there's nobody better when it comes to your smallmouth baits than Bass Munitions. Bass Munitions, made by Mr. Larry Payne, 100% made in the U.S. of A. Mr. Larry's I think a 35-year veteran of the police force, so honest guy, like we've all know and love, has been doing this for a long time, and this is what he does in his elder years, and he does a great job. Best thing I like about Bass Munitions are the variety of baits. You have your Ned baits, drop shot worms, swim baits, anything that you need soft plastic, beaver style baits, anything that you need.
Dude, talk to the guy. The guy will make you a custom color. I mean, he's that nice.
Yes.
I mean, he's fantastic.
And on more than one occasion, I'll buy something from Mr. Larry, and I'll end up getting 3 or 4 extra bags at no cost to me. Just, hey, try these out. Let me know what you think. So that's the kind of guy that Mr. Larry is. It's awesome to work with him. We're happy to get his word out there and get his baits out there because I swear by him. One of the biggest largemouth I've ever caught on Conowingo, maybe the biggest I've ever caught on Conowingo, came on one of his worms last year. So they're tested. We love them. I throw them a lot. But yeah, I can't say enough good things about it. And the best thing about them, honestly, is the value. Like if you buy a pack of Ned rigs, I think you get 10 for like $4 versus any other bait out there. You'll get 6, 7, maybe 8 at the most for $5. Whereas when you go to Bass Munitions, you get a lot more for your money, which is great. We all love that. So please, if you haven't checked them out, please check them out. Let us know, or let them know that we sent you over there. But yeah, I think it's time to get into it. I think we should.
I got one more shout out that I want to say real quick. He doesn't sponsor our show or anything, but he really hooked me up. As everybody knows, I am a big swim bait junkie, and I have been fiending super hard to get my hands on the new Spro KBG Chad Shad lineup. I've had an order in with Tackle Warehouse ever since the freaking things were announced that you could pre-order them. The ball has been dropped, and we'll just leave it at that. I was able, Scuba Steve reached out to a buddy that he'd talked to for a while. His name is Mr. Chris with 44 Tackle, I believe down in Florida. And it was fantastic. He dipped into a stash and got us 2 of those Spro KBG Chad Shad glides up here, and I was able to finally put my hands on one, and we're going to kind of do a review on those in a little bit, but I just wanted to say thanks to him while we got everybody online, and definitely check out 44tackleco.com, and we're also going to go online on his store on the show later on, and we're just kind of going to go check things out and see what he's got to offer everybody.
Yeah, awesome. So I guess you want to get into the tournament scene for last week?
Let's check it out.
All right, first I need another beer.
All right.
So, tournaments last week, and Clint, Martin, you guys have every right to give me a bunch of crap. So I'll start off by saying and this is in all humility, as humble as I can say this, I've had a really, really good start to this year. I've had a tremendous. This is the best I've ever fished, outside of the Thursday nighters last year. Like, and I get it, it's not the Elite Series, but to me, it's significant because I've never really fished this well.
It's showing improvement in your game.
Right. So I've fished 3 tournaments this year with the club with Bass Militia. I've had the first 2 tournaments I finished in second, and the last tournament I won by like almost 4 pounds. And Martin actually got second, and Martin did a great job. So shout out to Martin. And the thing of it is like, I'm just fishing different this year. I really am. I'm fishing slower. I'm paying attention to a lot of the really, really small details. But I guess I'll kind of do a little tournament recap here. But long story short, I did what I always do. I went out and I found grass on the spots that I like. I like the back channel. I like Furnace Bay. I like the main flats. I like Swan Creek. Now I know that's like pretty broad, but those of you who know that I fish, 99% of the time when I'm out there on the upper bay, I'm usually fishing Furnace or I'm fishing the back channel. I won't say exactly where I went, only because there's a big tournament this weekend, and I want to respect those guys that are out there trying to find those fish today, tomorrow. But I was in the grass in one of the 3 spots that I mentioned. So you guys, a lot of you already know, but I'll leave it at that. I found grass. The thing of it is on the bay, and I say this till I'm in the ground, dude. Not all grass is created equal. That was one of the first shows that we ever did on this. Was not all grass is created equal. And I wish I could say more about specifically what the deal was with the grass, but again, I know there's guys out practicing, and I don't want to give anything away to those people who I've already talked to, who may or may not be fishing. But there's always differences in grass that you can find. There's always differences. Maybe this grass is thicker. Maybe it's thinner. Maybe they want to be in grass that's, 1 point or 2.4 feet of water instead of grass that's in 2.6 feet of water. Those are the little things that you really need to look for. And I found a collection of very small areas on the grass flat that I liked. And I started catching fish in it, and I was able to actually duplicate that pattern throughout the entire day. And here's the thing, and I'll be completely honest with you. I wasn't catching fish in the morning. I got there. There was, of course, it's the Bay and Mace. There's a bunch of boats. I'm flipping grass. I catch one. I'm like, okay, decent one. And then I didn't get shit for a while. And there was this old man in a brand new, it was basically my boat, but brand new Ranger, no poles, no nothing. These 2 old men were out there fishing. And I had watched them each of them catch like 1 or 2 keepers, not giants, but they have caught a few keepers. And I was just like, man, I don't see anyone else catching fish out on these flats. Dude, it's tough. The bay's fishing tough right now. Like, yeah, the bay is fishing tough for whatever reason. So, I'm like, man, these guys are catching them, and I'm not. Like, I've got 1 bite that I probably hit that fish in the head, and it's, that's the most frustrating thing, right? When you're fishing a whole bunch of different stuff, you pick up a bait, you throw it, and within the first 10 casts, you catch one, and then you can't get another bite on it.
That is the most frustrating thing in the world.
So that's where I was at. And then, these guys, they got their trolling motor on like, 70 or 80, and they're kind of moving around. They're covering water. And as they're getting closer to me, the guy's throwing his bait towards my boat, and I can see what he's throwing. And it's not different from what I was throwing. So I made a slight adjustment. I went back to the area. I actually fired up the big motor. I said, no way. Because it was all color. It was all color. That's what I'll leave it at that.
I was going to say, I was like, it was either your size or your color.
It was all color. I'll leave it at that. It was all color. So I go back to the first spot where I thought that there should have been fish here, and I start throwing that bait, and I catch number 2 and number 3, both of which are like good ones, over 3, maybe 4 pounders. And then it kind of shut off. I had one of those ones, a couple minutes later, and I was retying after every fish because the bait that I had, I only had 1 of. So I'm retying after every fish. I'm retying every like 10 casts because I'm there's so much grass and there's so much of, ripping baits through it and stuff like that. And I'm not using, I think the line I had on it was P line. It wasn't Seagar. So I was very conscious of what my line and my equipment. So, all this happens and I throw my bait out there and I make maybe 2 or 3 cranks of the reel, dude. And like, it just got instantly tight and the rod just doubled over. And I was like, oh my God. And right about the time I had leaned the rod back, it broke off. So I don't know what that was. I would really like to see what the hell that fish was. I almost think it was a foul hook carp because there was a lot of carp spawn activity going on. But whatever it was serious. It could have been a big snakehead. I mean, it could have been a big bass. I can't say what it was. So that I lost my bait. That sucked. So I made an adjustment. Again, didn't catch fish for a while. By that time, the tide was pretty much done. So I didn't really have. I had 3 fish in the boat at like 11 o'clock, and the tide I think was dead high at 12. Because I was here last Friday night and drank 3 liters of beer, I had to poop. So I immediately, after I couldn't hold it anymore, I ran back to Tidings, had to go through the maze of fencing and all kinds of nonsense that they have in Tidings right now, which is just absolutely horrible. By the way, if you guys know anyone at Tidings, can you tell them to unlock the goddamn bathroom that's right in front of the ramp? There's a dude, it's like the cleanest boat ramp bathroom you've ever seen in your life, and it's consistently locked.
That's why it's the cleanest boat ramp bathroom.
Dude, it's annoying as shit. Just unlock it. Please.
There is no such thing as a clean boat ramp bathroom, and it's just a fact.
Dude, this thing's pristine. Like, it's got 2-ply toilet paper and everything. It's beautiful. So anyway, I walk up in there, prairie dogging the whole way, and it's locked. So I had to go get my boat, untie it from the dock at the ramp, idle all the way over to the gas dock, tie up again, and go in there and take a shit. And then some guy's trying to yell at me saying I can't get out, like one of the guys at Tidings. And I'm like, dude, like, what the hell are you talking about? Like, how am I supposed to get to the shitter? I'm standing there, like, with my arms up. I'm like, how do you want me to get to the shitter, dude? What do you want me to do? Like, this is the only dock that doesn't, like, all those other docks in Tidings have fences. So they don't want people just docking and then walking out into the parking lot.
Right.
So I'm like, what do you want me to do, dude? Like, all you have to do is leave an opening. That's it. Put some cones up, leave an opening, or open the other shitter. Like, what? Like, what's the deal? Like, the guy wasn't being a prick. He was like, hey, you're not supposed to be back there. And I'm like, I got shit, dude. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I don't know what you want me to do. So I go in there, I do that, get it out of me, and then I was actually going to run up into the river and try to fish for smallmouth because I know I can catch smallmouth. And I was like, you know what? Why? Why would I leave an area that I know has fish? There's no reason for it. So I went back. The boat flotilla that was there had died down quite a bit. Maybe half the boats that were there. I guess with the tide, a lot of guys left. So there was, maybe 50 boats on it now. There was a lot of boats on it in the morning. And there was still nobody sitting on the areas I wanted. So I putted right over there. And in 20 minutes, I had 4 and 5. And I never caught another fish the rest of the day. But it was a pure reaction bite, though, I will tell you. The fish weren't eating it at all. All the fish that I caught, even the shorts, I did catch like 2 or 3 shorts. They all had it in the top of their mouth, like at the mouth. Like they weren't eating it good. It was just they were just kind of grabbing onto it because they reacted to it, which is not good. It shouldn't be this tough in May on the bay. Shouldn't.
Dude, it has been so weird in my opinion this year. Like, I came into this season thinking like everything was going to be super early, and it almost seems like it's semi-late.
Dude, I don't know.
I don't know. I don't even know what to think at this point. Like, I kind of thought that everybody, now people are catching them on top water, but I kind of thought the top water would be on fire by now. I thought the grass might be a little bit more prevalent by now.
Yeah, there's not a lot of grass south. I mean, there's some, but it's
I'm coming on now. I'm talking about the GP as well.
Right.
I haven't ventured outside of the GP yet this year, other than to fish Conowingo a couple of times. I'm just waiting for my boat to come back because it's just a giant buzzkill to go anywhere else.
Dude, I might go up there tomorrow. We were going to do a mini derby with the guys in the club, but I don't think there's a whole lot of interest with it, so I may end up going up to Conowingo to try to catch some big smallmouth.
I will be fishing every single mini derby I ever get invited to when my freaking boat comes back.
Dude, if we were doing it tomorrow, I would say just hop on my boat. But like I said, I don't know what I'm doing now because a lot of guys want to practice for the SFT tournament, and I got it. That's part of the reason why I want to go up top because I don't like the crowds. Number one, I don't like if I know guys that I'm cool with are trying to fish Sunday, I don't need to go out there and be beating up their fish Saturday. Like, I get it. It probably doesn't matter, but like, it just to me, it's not a huge thing. So,
all right. So you are in first place with Bass Militia.
For right now, yes.
And Martin took second place last week as well.
Martin did. And you know, the funny thing is me and Martin talked after the tournament and we actually found the same bite. And I will say if Martin had one more fish, he probably would have beat me because Martin had, I think, 12.5 pounds with 4 fish. And I had him at 16 with 5. So it would have been close. One more good bite for Martin, it would have been real tight.
Right.
I mean, it would have been real tight.
And then I'm trying to look on here really quick and see if I can find it.
Are you talking about the River Rats tournament at the Gunpowder?
Was it River Rats? I thought MR Bass had a tournament out of Gunpowder last weekend.
They did on the same day. But the River Rats tournament was far more impressive, mainly because they each catch 5 fish. But, dude, the Gunpowder showed out last weekend, man.
Dude, the Gunpowder showed out last weekend.
Almost 18 pounds to win the tournament Saturday for the River Rats, which is awesome. Our buddy Ron Stierstorfer, who was part of the Florida crew in 2020, was that 2022? Yeah, it was. Mr. Ron, great job on that win. I know Ken Berry had a pretty good day too. So Ken's usually on here. Ken, great job. You know, I had the serious FOMO. So I ended up going out Monday on the GP and got into him pretty good. Mm-hmm. Pretty serious bag. It was by like 4 or 5 pounds my best 5 fish bag out of the Gunpowder on Monday. So that was cool. But the thing that I really like about this tournament in particular is that not only was there a lot of fish caught on the Gunpowder, but a lot of it's wear, and I would never give this away because 1, not a lot of people know where the bite is, and 2, people that know where it is work very hard to find it. I will just say that the very typical zones that everyone thinks about when you catch big fish in the Gunpowder in May were not where a lot of big fish in the Gunpowder in May were caught. So it's really cool how we're seeing and I think a lot of this is tributes to the Thursday night tournaments.
There's Mike Powers who also took second place along with Kevin, and I know that those 2 fish that he is holding were at least caught on an OG KBG Chad for that tournament. So that was pretty cool to see somebody bringing some fish on the glide bait out there in the GP.
I think a lot of this is attributed to the tournaments, the Thursday nighters that we've run consistently. I mean, but Scott and his guys have run because a lot of these fish are moving around. There's Mr. Ken. Great job, Ken. A lot of these fish are moving around mainly because I think of tournament pressure and because where they're being released. So, you know, it's the days of, you know, every winning bag coming out of the pond are just not true anymore. You know, it's over. You're going to have to learn how to fish the Gunpowder, the whole Gunpowder.
The pond is overpressured.
Oh, dude, for sure.
It's overpressured.
I mean, let's think about this for a second, right? How many times, I mean, we fish the Gunpowder as much as anybody. How many times can you say that you've gone and fished one dock?
There he is, Paul.
How many times
Batters.
have you fished one dock in the Bush River? Or sorry, not the Bush River, in the Bird River?
I haven't.
Right.
It's so shallow back there in the Bird River.
Well, in the back of it, but what about on the points right across from like the marsh?
I've gone back into the marsh and never caught anything back in the marsh before.
In the Bird?
Yeah.
I mean, like at the docks right at the railroad bridge. Like
No,
nobody
not
fishes
those docks. No.
That's what I'm saying. Nobody fishes them. Like I guarantee you, there's fish on them. I'm not saying there's 25 pounds of fish on them, but there's fish on them. Like these fish are moving to different places, and a lot of it's for however many whatever different reasons you want to say. But I just think it's cool because consistently now, like last year in the opens and now in the spring, the gunpowder has been a relevant fishery more so than ever. We didn't for years. It wasn't that way. I can remember in the old club, there was one of the years, so we would always give away, we have a side pot for like big bag and stuff. I think in 2021, either 2021 or 2020, the big bag for the year and the lunker for the year were caught in the gunpowder. You know what I mean? Like
it's coming back.
I think so. And I think there's a lot of fish around. I mean, I went out last Monday. I usually try to go out every Monday. And I launched in Dundee, dude, and there was like, on a Monday, there was like 10 bass boats all over Dundee Creek, which is awesome, dude. There's fish there, and these fish are moving around. It's not just, tournaments aren't won in the canals in Joplatown like they used to be. There's more areas where these fish are going, and I think it levels the playing field because now you have to go out and learn it. You have to go out and really come up with a game plan to find these fish. You know what I mean? It ain't just the same 3, 4, 5 spots put out fish all the time.
Nope.
So.
Me and Scuba Steve, we have not been going back to the Forbidden Zone very much this year. We fished a little bit here and there. The 3 fish that I did catch on the KBG Spro Shad the other day was back in the Forbidden Zone. I'll just say it. I mean, like, whatever. Nobody else is throwing the glide baits back there anyways. It's not like I'm talking about a hidden spot anymore. And I just haven't been putting the time back in there. I just don't. At one point where I love to go back in there and fish, now I go back in there and I see freaking 10 new boats that I'd never seen before every time, and I'm like, it's just freaking. I'd rather just fish the canal and then freaking go burn somewhere else, man.
That's what I'm saying, man.
There's fish everywhere in the GP.
Yep.
They're everywhere in the GP. And here's what I've noticed more, and me and Steve were talking about this the other day. He might even kick me in the nuts for saying this. I've noticed less people in the quarry and in the channels.
Yep.
Because they're all stacked in the pond.
Yep. 100%.
So I'm loving every second of being able to be back in the channels and in the quarry and in other places and enjoy my peace and being able to fish with not having 18 freaking bass boats surrounding me.
My thing of it is
and I'm catching fish just fine.
Think of it like this. If you put the amount of time and effort that you've put into the pond in just 1 year into 5 spots on the gunpowder.
For real.
Dude, it would be on. I mean, you would know it.
You'd know the entire gunpowder.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's so many people just consistently, we're going to gunpowder, let's go to the pond. And it's like, yeah, I get it. There's always fish to be caught in the pond.
Always.
But it's like, it's a game of averages, right? Like if I know in a tournament that 5, 6, 7 boats are going back there, probably not going back there. It's just, I'm not. Like it, I don't know, man. Like it's.
What's up, Dustin?
Dustin caught the big bag in Lunker that year. So he can say that.
And here's the other silent moose in the room that nobody else wants to talk about. The canal that's going back to the Forbidden Zone is getting wider by the fucking week.
Really?
Every time I go back there, I swear to God, that canal just sneaking back in there is wider.
I haven't been back
the
there.
erosion from boats going back there and causing wake, and the amount of mudslides just coming in, it's just getting wider.
Well, it makes sense. I mean, it's definitely not going to get any narrower. So
no, so I mean, it does make sense, but it does kind of suck to see, and I don't know what that's going to do in the future. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I don't know. You know what I toured with tomorrow? Because it seems like the mini derby's not going to happen. I toured with going to fish the chop tank tomorrow. Just to go fish it.
God bless your heart.
Just to go fish it. I mean, why not, right? Like, what's the worst that could happen? You over there, don't catch anything?
Like you did on the Sass and you had a freaking bitch fit?
Dude, that sucked. That sucked. Like I expect to go. Like if I would have went to the chop tank and caught 1 3.5 pounder, I would have been like, okay, all right, cool. Because I don't expect to. I know the chop tank is a pretty not great fishery, so like a good fish over there is worth something. But the Sass is like you're gonna catch fish. I mean, you should. Like you hear about all these guys going over there and catching them. I don't know anything about the damn river. I can't catch fish over there. So if you're asking me, the river sucks because I don't know how to fish it. But again, it's. Oh, the umbrella light went off. Oh, now the other one went on. Anyway, so, there's a whole bunch of stuff that goes into it, man. And I don't know. Like, I feel like a lot of it's people just don't learn the area that they're fishing. And we see it on, like, the flats is the epitome of that. It really is. It's like, there's.
Oh, you mean you're talking about the guys that go out there and look for the pot of people out there and are like, heading that way?
Yeah. Sure. It happens all the time.
Every day.
All the time. And like, I get it. I don't know, man. Like, I get it, but it's also like, I don't feel like, even though I won that tournament last weekend, I don't feel like I got any better as an angler by doing that.
I don't even fish the flats, but I've had that done to me when I have been there.
Yeah, with me. Remember?
Yeah.
That was
on other occasions too. Now that you go back and like think about it, but that was like that very key time that was just like you can't even deny what just happened.
Yeah, that was a little rough. On like a Wednesday too, of all things.
Yeah, I mean, we did sting those fish for that tournament though.
I don't know, man. Those fish shut down that weekend. But you know what? That's my thing is like so many times I've been out pre-fishing and caught them and I was like, man, I shouldn't sting them. And then I won't sting them and then I'll go back and not catch them Saturday. So now I'm just like, if I catch them, I catch them. I don't care.
Right.
Especially with tidal fish, they move so much. I don't think it matters. If you're on a place like Deep Creek where it's a small lake with a limited population of fish, I think stinging them makes a big deal. But if I'm going out the Saturday before and I'm on the road to catch 20 pounds, I'm going to sting them. I mean, there's just no way. I mean, some people don't like that. It's up to them. I just think with tidal water, fish move so much and bait moves so much. And there's just so many things that are happening. You know what I mean? So, just different for me.
When are you going to start throwing a glide bait?
Never. Probably. I mean, I don't need to this year. Christ. If I hadn't weighed a fish in yet this year, I'd probably be throwing one just for the hell of it. But I don't need to change anything yet for what I'm doing. And I'm excited. I'm very excited because
there's a shitload of bass up in the rocks in the Susquehanna.
I'm really excited this year because I traditionally do a lot better in the heat of the summer. Like when that frog bite's on, you guys all know that's usually my bread and butter for the year. And that hasn't happened yet, and I'm already ahead of the game. So if that frog bite turns on, I'm in for a really good year.
I haven't even found grass where you need to have grass for the Thursday nighters.
I found a ton of it on Monday.
In the
Ton of
GP?
grass. Yes.
It's there.
Matted.
Yeah.
Laying over matted.
Low tide.
No, I died. But I ran. I mean, I wasn't in. I had to run for it. It was still in the gunpowder, but I had to move around for it.
Like outside the train bridge or inside the train bridge?
Outside.
Oh, well, yeah, there's grass out there. I'm talking about inside.
I found some. I found some inside, but I didn't find it matted yet. I did catch a couple good fish in it 2 weeks ago, but it was, I don't know.
I got a nice slammer bite, and Steve caught a couple on a popper.
Oh yeah, you were saying that. That's awesome.
So, however, but we're noticing that there's a lot of bass and or snakehead chasing bait fish in the area, and we go over there, and there's a lot of grass down beneath the surface that just isn't surfaced yet. Went back and started throwing poppers and top water up over top of it, and ended up getting 2 or 3 blow-ups and connecting on a couple of them. So, visually, another very important thing when it comes to going to like springtime fishing, you're transitioning from springtime, going to some of your summertime baits, like going to your poppers, going to your frogs and stuff like that. Visually watching what nature is doing is a huge indicator for you on what you should be doing. Instead of, I mean, I know a lot of guys get caught looking at the sonar and whatever, staring at their phone. All you gotta do is look around you sometimes to give you the key information on what you need to go get that bite.
Yep. Agree completely.
And I have utilized that techniques. So we say many times to dial something in. Oh, they're chasing shad up against the bank over here. Let's try this. Or, they're busting out in the middle. Let's try this. You know, you can visualize what they're doing, where they are, a lot of times.
All right, so I'm officially canceling the mini derby tomorrow because there was 2 people fishing it, and I'm just not doing that. So and I don't want to bully people's fish, and if there's not a group effort, so I'm gonna go up above the dam probably and try to catch a few of them. I traditionally actually do really well up there this time of year. I've had a couple really nice days up there already this year, up above the dam. So that's been fun. You know what we need to talk about, honestly, and I feel bad that we're going to talk about it when Paul's not here. We need to talk about Keith Boucher. We do.
We can do that.
So I'll get right into it. I think that the dude was okay. Is he in the wrong? I'll say yes. Keith Boucher's in the wrong. However, I don't think he should have got disqualified. The reason I say that is, what did Bass put out before the tournament? Did they give a list of off-limits waters? And the reason I say this, you go fish Conowingo, go fish any of the Conowingo tournaments. What's happening right now?
This is me screwing with the brightness.
You go fish a tournament and open on Conowingo, right? They will hand you, or they have put out on their Facebook page, or they'll actually hand you a paper copy, a pamphlet of everything that's off limits on that lake. Everything. So that way, if you go off limits, you were informed. Hey, this is wrong. With Keith Boucher's case, did he cross land or did he cross rollers that are designed to take your boat from this part of the water to another?
That is exactly what it looked to me.
So I know for a fact he used rollers.
What's
right?
up, Brian?
Oh, there's Mr. Brian. So I want to give a shout out because we just talked about it. They give out the maps prior to the tournament, right? And it's awesome because you know exactly where you can and can't go.
Right.
And there's no ambiguity, right? Bass did not do this. That's my issue with this, right? Is if you don't tell me what's off limits and what's not off limits, you know, who's to say why else would the guy run a John boat? Not a John boat, sorry. Why else would he run a boat like that?
Why else would he run an aluminum all-weld Gator Trax that has the capabilities of doing these things?
Exactly.
Why would he take the loss in power and space over fishing a 21-foot fiberglass boat with a 250 like everybody else?
So here's the other part of it, and I kind of in our group chat I kind of mentioned this. I said, well, nobody's talking about the water line, right? Nobody's talking about, well, is this water accessible when the water's up? There has to be something.
Supposedly, it was marked as tournament waters still, but
see, I need to see that.
Supposedly, I read this online from another professional fisherman in BASS that it was marked as tournament waters, but at low tide was disconnected by a man-made structure.
So this is Lay Lake, right?
Yes.
Is it an open? I don't even know what tournament. I'm sorry. I should,
because they were supposed to be on Wheeler this right now.
My whole thing with it is a lot of these lakes, especially in the South, fluctuate a ton. They do. They fluctuate a lot. And high water line means a lot, man. So, like, if this water that he was fishing is if there's a high water line and this lake, and you could get to this when it's high water, the Bass has no case at all. Bass has no case. I don't know. I don't know if that's the answer. My other issue with this whole thing is there are rollers where he physically, yes, his boat left the water, where he physically made that jump to get from big water to small water. There are rollers there that are designed to carry your boat across this sandbar and get onto this water. It's not like it's there for a reason. It's like, dude,
yeah, they didn't just put that there so that you could. it's not to look pretty.
How is it?
There's a function. It's not to pull your kayak over top of it.
How is it any different than locking out? That's my question. How is it any different than locking out? That's okay. Is a lock designed to move your boat from this body of water to this one that you otherwise would not be able to get to? Yes. Right? Is a lock dangerous? Have you ever been in I mean, you probably haven't. Have you ever been in a lock? Dude,
No,
the water
I have not.
rushes through there.
Right.
Like people's boats bump together all the time. People fall out of their boats. Like locks are dangerous places. They will tell you like tie your boat up and set down when you're in a lock because the water rushes through there. Like it's a big thing. So the safety aspect of it, I call BS. I call BS on it because one, it's a Gator Tracks all well. It's not like he's going off a ramp.
He's done it before.
He's going off of rollers. I wouldn't, if it were me, okay, and I was on the committee of Bass, the first question I would have would be, did we mark this off limits? If you didn't mark it off limits, then it's not off limits. If you don't tell me, hey, these are the rules, then how can you disqualify me for breaking them if you didn't tell me that it was wrong, right? Okay, Alabama rigs. If you say the Alabama rig is banned in this tournament and I use an Alabama rig, then I am wrong. If you don't say that, okay, and it says written nowhere, this is banned and I use an A rig and then you ban me for using an A rig, you as a tournament organization are wrong. I'm going into the weeds with this, but me personally, I like what Keith Poche does for the sport.
I think he keeps it entertaining.
I like what I agree. I think he fishes the way that 80% of us fish. He doesn't. I mean, yeah, he's got the money for the electronics and shit, but like most of the
you made the golden point earlier. You made the golden point earlier. Why is it even an option for somebody to show up in an 18-foot all-weld aluminum boat with a 150 on the back of it to the disadvantage of somebody else's 21-foot 250 fiberglass boat if you're not going to be able to do things like that?
It's the Ottifo rule, right? They banned Ottifo's jet boat. They said, hey, well, they didn't ban the jet boat. They got around it.
Okay, well, hold up. What about the guy, and I do believe, I'm brain farting on exactly who he is right now, but there's a guy who literally just got a 10-minute delay on launch at Wheeler today because he broke the 30-day freaking... Yeah, but he owns BASS.
No, he owns MLF. That's Boyd Duckett.
Duckett.
Yeah, Boyd Duckett, yep. So,
is it MLF or BASS?
MLF.
This was on MLF.
MLF.
All right, I'm talking about the wrong organization here then.
So, yeah, and so here's the thing. Nobody cares about Boyd Duckett because he's, as a fisherman, is irrelevant. Like him or not, I use Duckett rods. I have a few of them. I like them. I know some people don't. I'm not a Boyd Duckett fan, but I think his rods are fine. People would be saying something about it if it was Kevin Van Dam, but it's not. It's Boyd Duckett. Boyd Duckett's not a threat to win a tournament ever. He's never been a threat to win a tournament.
Should be treated equally.
I agree with you completely, but that's why nobody really cares about Boyd Duckett. I think what Keith Poche does for the sport, and John Cox similar, right? A lot of people bitch that John Cox was running a 16-foot aluminum boat in the FLW Tour back in the day. If you go back to the 2011 Red River event that John Cox won, he was pushing his boat with a 2x4 through a pipe. And people flipped out about that. So, Ottifo rule, same kind of thing, right? I don't like it because this is part of the reason I don't watch pro fast
if
fishing.
You can get your boat there some way, I don't even care if you freaking hook them up to a winch and drag it across somewhere.
Right. So here's my thing, right?
Just like, I don't know who said it. If you're willing to risk ripping your engine off, your power poles, breaking all your electronics, cracking your hull, ripping the transom, whatever, to go over there and catch fish, then by all means, send it, dude.
Dude, so remember in the group chat today, I said, okay, so what happens if you get into a spot and then the tide goes out or the water drops? Then what? So the rule is, allegedly, and I still have yet to see it, partly because I haven't actually gone out and hard looked for it, is you cannot cross land. You can't jump anything to get into a spot, or you can't jump land, period. So what happens if I'm in a tournament and I get into the pond, right? And the tide goes out and there's a sandbar. I'm just supposed to sit there with a bag of fish? So then, Paul, love you. I hope he's watching. Paul said, well, you can do whatever you want to get out. I said, okay, I got you. I'm not saying you're wrong, but that's bullshit. How the hell are you allowed to only do that to get out, but not to get in? And who's to say, you see how that rule is garbage?
Right. Well, just like everything, you see just how gray it is. Everything about it is just gray. Oh, you can do it coming out, but you can't do it going in. You can't let your boat go on land. You can't use man-made rollers to cross a structure to another piece of water, even if it was marked as tournament waters.
So, yeah,
I really think as though that BASS probably could have slapped him on the wrist for this one and done some type of exemption.
So,
but
yeah, so here's the thing, right?
It was like, dude, they kept on saying that it was clearly written in the rules, and I read the rule several times the way that they had written it, and I was just like, it's not as clear as you're saying it is. It's kind of,
yeah, Dan. That's my thing with it is, I don't know, man. Like, so again, and I'm slightly biased on this because, I've been in the military now for a long time. I mean, a longish time. And one thing I will tell you is when we write rules and regulations and things, you have to account for everything.
I'm going to tag Keith Poche.
You should. Honestly, dude, how cool would it be? But you have to account for everything, right? If there's a chance that somebody's going to figure out how to get around this rule, it's up to you to figure out how to legislate or whatever you want to call it to avoid that. And I believe that Bass is on the hook for this one, right? Like,
that's how I feel about it.
So, like, my old club, they used to say, and it was never put in the rules, but it was a talking point, right? Because just slight slide tangent. We would talk about, hey, should we make off limits in our tournaments? Hey, if we launch in the gunpowder, you can only fish up to the bush, whatever the case may be, right? And then one of the guys would say, well, if we fish Conowingo, you can't go into the rocks because it's what's it called? It's dangerous. And I'm like, it's not dangerous, dude. I've never hit anything up there. Like, I've hit more shit below the rocks than in the rocks. And he wasn't it was a good friend of mine, John, that brought this up. And he wasn't trying to keep us from running in the rocks. He was trying to make a point. And I understand his point. But at the same time, I'm the one running up there. I'm the one taking the risk. You know what I'm saying? I think so. I want to read Dustin's comment.
And at the same time, I was just going to get to it, not to cut you off.
No, you read it.
Dustin's comment, and here's where I really wish that we were on the restream so I could post it. They're trying to pump the brakes on ballsy behavior because they don't want a bunch of weekend warriors doing that type of shit in the opens. And that makes sense. I get that. When you're gonna have the opens come around, you're gonna have guys that are just like, well, Keith Poche was doing it, and then they're gonna go do.
Sure.
You're just gonna have a bunch of people committing violations, essentially.
Okay. I hear you. Now let's say.
Do you need a beer?
Yes. Now So let's say they have an open somewhere on the gunpowder. Bassmaster decides we're gonna load up Mariner Point Park and have an open on the gunpowder, right? The bottom line is a lot of guys out there that are probably good enough to fish, to hold their own in the local tournament against some of the pros out there are at a disadvantage for a number of reasons. Mainly because they don't have the boat to run. Damn, it's beer. But I know how Rob fishes, right? Rob likes to get skinny with his boat.
Yep, big time.
By saying you can't do things like this, you're taking out weekend warriors, right? Like guys that have John boats that can push across the sandbar, whether it's with a push pole.
I don't think you're taking out weekend warriors by not allowing them to push pull themselves across a dry sandbar.
Yeah, but you're not doing that in a 21-foot fiberglass boat.
Yeah, but depending on what I'm doing, I'm also not doing that in any boat. Depending on my time frame.
I don't know, man. I think Keith Poche is the angler for 80 to give or take 80% of us that go out and fish. Yeah, I fish out of a fiberglass boat, but you know
No,
what?
dude, I think that he's that guy that wants to go explore all those places that all of us want to go explore.
Dude, how many times have you seen Keith Poche fishing on Bass Live or whatever, staring at a screen all day?
You don't.
Exactly. Like Keith Poche fishes the way that we want to fish, the way that a lot of us grew up fishing. Hey, man, pick up a big spinnerbait and throw it on the bank and catch a big fish off that lay down. Like, that's what Keith Poche does. And honestly, dude, like, I think what he does is great. I would love, dude, I got a friend of mine that's got a John Boo's got a 16-foot.
Dude, I just
one.
like his rebel style, honestly. I just like how
I
he
agree.
does things, man. He is just kind of one of those F the system dudes. And
Keith Poche
just
is
get
the
behind
punk
that.
rock of bass fishing. I'm going to go take a leak. I'll be right back. Intermission.
The punk rock of bass fishing. However, Matt Robertson is my spirit animal. And Matt Robertson would be pretty cool to talk to. Keith Poche would be pretty cool to talk to too. Did not get a chance to talk to him while he was here at Tidings for the Gunpowder for the Opens when they were here, but definitely like Keith Poche's style. I think them changing rules to put a dampener on Keith Poche's style would put a dampener on bass fishing, in my opinion, man. I mean, taking the pros and taking your 18-foot aluminum boats and stuff like that out of the equation, where granted all the other field is running 250s on fiberglass boats, but your everyday, your weekend dudes that love being able to go out and compete on those boats and on that type of structure, that's what we like, that's what we like to see. I like watching the pros and seeing guys go fish in underdog boats. I think it's cool.
Absolutely. I think it's awesome.
Every
man.
single person's out there in a 21-foot with a freaking everything on it. So if somebody wants to go out there in a kayak and try to compete, I'm like, that's my guy.
How about John Cox, man? John Cox still fishes out of an aluminum boat with like 1 7-inch graph on the front.
John Cox is fantastic.
And he fishes a lot of the similar waves as
He loves
Poche.
the live scope. He loves the live scope a lot.
John Cox?
Yes.
Does he really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I didn't. Well, I mean, he doesn't do it a lot. Like a lot of times when he fishes shallow, he's not using it, is he?
I don't know if he's using it when he fishes shallow. I just remember seeing one of his Instagram reels a couple weeks ago where he was talking like Adam Sandler from The Waterboy.
Mama said
And he was-
that you could see all the fish on
He's-
the live scope.
He was I wish I could find this. He was laying on the deck of his boat up next to his graph, and he's like, people say that live scope is the devil.
Was that John Cox or was it John Cruz?
It might have been Cruz.
I thought it was John Cruz. It was definitely John Cruz
All right.
because I know
Was it
exactly-
Cruz?
It was.
All right, that's what. Okay, I got the two mixed up. I'm like, no. Okay, even Martin's like, no, it's Cruz. John Cruz is the guy with Spro too.
Missile Baits.
Missile baits.
He might be Spro as
He's
well.
Spro as well. I'm pretty sure he's helps develop a lot of the Spro baits. Thank you for that. John Cruz, John Cox. We can see where the confusion can come from that.
Mama said that live scope is the devil.
Nonetheless, that was John Cruz though, and that was still a fantastic video. If you haven't seen that on
was.
Instagram, he's laying over top of his grass. He's like, Mama. They say that the live scope is the devil, but I say that live scope is not the devil.
So-
I love the live scope helps me catch the fish.
Where's Paul
I loves
Batters?
the fish.
Where's Paul Batters when you need him? Because I did see a video where Randy Blockett said that a bunch of states are
That's his
apparently-
favorite person.
I know. Well, that and smallmouth crush. A bunch of so Randy Blockett. Yeah, is he irrelevant as a fisher? Is he irrelevant as a fisherman? Sure. Is his YouTube channel active? Yes. He did say something where certain states, I don't know if it was Bass Nations or what, are banning live scope to some level, whether it's locals or open. I don't know, but somebody
No.
somewhere banned live scope.
That was definitely some type of like troll meme.
No, I swear to God, like I swear to God, I'm gonna find it on my
How
phone
can you
right now.
ban live scope?
Dude, like here's my thing, right? So people that say, okay, the A rig is banned, right? In bass, A rig's
Yeah.
banned. What do you think is more influential on catching fish, live scope or the A rig?
Live scope.
Okay, so why is if it okay? A rig was banned because it apparently is too powerful of a weapon. How is live scope less powerful? I'm not saying it should be banned, but by their logic,
Dude, they should just let people be throwing A rigs with live scope.
that's how you learn how to use live scope is throw an A rig so you can find your bait.
Yeah.
Seriously, like.
Straight up.
Let me see. I'm gonna find this Randy Blackett video. Dustin, I know there was an April Fool's joke, but somebody, I'm telling you, this dude was saying like, yes, like people are banning live scope. So I'm gonna find it here.
I haven't seen it anywhere on the. You would think that if that was a legitimate thing, that it would be blowing up on the internet, and I just haven't seen that.
Well, it all depends on who's banning it. I mean, if it was, let's see.
I wish I could go on my phone and do all this, but my phone's over there. That's my phone right there. I'm pointing at my phone. but I can't use it if that way.
That's my phone,
That's
Mama.
my phone right there.
God damn it! I saw this, man. I definitely saw this. Oh, so Randy,
Dustin says he bit the joke.
he bit the. Maybe he did, dude. Maybe he did because now I can't find it. I don't know, man. I don't hate Randy Blackett. Like, yeah, he might be irrelevant as a fisherman, but you know his YouTube videos are watchable. Here we go. Randy Blackett thinks I cheat. Oh, this is somebody else. Yeah, I don't know, man. You know who I like? It's totally random. I like the guy on YouTube that has like a pet coyote that's always like, coyote's always like biting him and shit, but it's like playing. Dude, I think coyotes are the coolest animals of all time. I refuse to shoot them. I won't shoot them. They're too cool. I don't know, man. Everyone's like, you're a bitch. I'm like, I don't care, dude. Coyotes are cool as shit.
I would definitely shoot a coyote.
Now, if it's like beating up on my dog, yeah, it's going to get blasted, but that goes for anything.
There is nothing that can beat up on your dog.
That's also
A
true.
fucking hippo couldn't beat up on your dog.
That's also true. So, but anyway, not to talk about coyotes. You know, well, I will say one more thing about coyotes. You know how you increase a coyote population? Start killing them. Because coyotes actually mate for life. Didn't know that. So
How you increase?
because they mate for life. So if you shoot them, as soon as you shoot one of the pairs, the other, they will immediately start mating. Immediately. So let's say you have a coyote pair A and B, and B is the male, right? And coyote A just laid her little herd of pups, or whatever. I guess they're called pups, right? And they're raising them. Coyote B, the male, gets shot. Male coyote gets shot a week after the pups are laid, or the week after the pups are born. Now that female is immediately back in heat because her partner is gone. She has to find another mate. So that's how the coyote population explodes, is by actually hunting them, which is crazy. I didn't know that. I was looking into it because, again, I think coyotes are cool. I think they're some of the most intriguing, beautiful animals in the world. Now, are they assholes? Absolutely.
I think they're pretty wild, and I think they're very intriguing to see as well. I've seen them in the backyard before. However, I don't want them close to my dogs, especially my little dude right
They'll
here.
rip them up. The biggest reason why I can't shoot them, and this is honest, God's honest truth, is because a good friend of mine, she has an Australian Shepherd, like it's an Australian Shepherd mix. It's got some Catahoula and Kelpie in her, and like she looks like a coyote, dude. Like, and I went on a coyote hunt one time, and I saw one. And that dog, I don't know if it saw me, but it looked me in the face, and I saw that dog's eyes, and I'm like, yeah, I can't shoot this thing. Like, I'm done now.
Right.
Like, it was just in the face. It looked like her dog. And I was like, yep, I'm done. I can't ever shoot a coyote now. It's just weird, man. Like, it's just weird. Like, I'm not against people hunting them. Matt says his asshole's always intriguing. It's true. Not that I would know, but anyway.
Fantastic.
I don't know, man. It's a weird. It's like one of my weird nicks, I guess. I just can't. I don't like shooting coyotes.
Assholes?
Well, depends on whose it is, of course, but maybe.
So, all right. So another thing, let's check this out. I want to go over this glide bait real quick, and I'm going to turn the lights up in the room for this just a little bit so that everybody can see it a little bit better. This is the Spro KBG Chad Shad in a ghost yellow perch. And honestly, it's not very ghosty at all. It's the color is actually fantastic. Black back, good yellow, good stripes, a nice white stomach. Big key feature that I actually saw on this bait after I had tied it on. These hooks come with built-in, what is this called, man? They swivel. They swivel in the bait.
Split rings?
Not the split rings. These hooks actually swivel on the bait. They turn 360 degrees and just keep on turning.
Oh, that's cool.
So that the fish can't twist and pop off the hook. That was a very key feature I saw on this bait that I thought was very cool. You can see that right in there. And this hook actually it just keeps twisting. It doesn't ever stop. Cool feature. The ROF on the Spro model of the KBG, I believe, is a slightly faster sink than the OG model. The OG model, I think, had a lower sink. It was slightly slower. I believe this is a 3 to 4 feet in, I don't know if it's 2 seconds or, I don't think it's 3 to 4 feet in 1 second. I mean, I've thrown it in the water and counted to 1/1000, and it's probably at the 2 foot mark. So I'm going to say at your 2 second to 3 second mark, you'll have this bait sitting at about 4 feet in depth. Okay. So when you throw out these baits, you're going to count to yourself 1/1000. Okay. I know this bait's at 2 feet, 2 1,000, 3 or 4 feet. 4 1,000, 5 1,000, 6 1,000. Okay, this thing's down at that 8 foot level that I wanted at. Now I'm going to begin my retrieve. And how rarely do I ever throw one of these baits out and actually let it sink down to the 8 foot level? I really don't. Kind of like your spinnerbait, like your chatterbaits. I throw this bait out. I might let it sit there and let some of the ripple dissipate for a second or two, and then I pick up on my retrieve. And the retrieve on this bait is very important. It does a perfect glide at whatever retrieve you're doing it to. They have these baits balanced perfectly. As the first time I threw this bait and I saw its action, it was identical to the OG Chad Shad. It doesn't flop. It did not fall on its belly. It did not go backside up. Dude, it's phenomenal. I was very surprised by it. I was surprised by how well made this bait was. If you can't see, I got a little rash on the nose up here in the front where I actually threw this thing into a couple piles of rocks already. Just throwing it up there, trying to get it up shallow and bring it back out and get bit. And it was durable. It smashed into some rocks. It's got some chips out of it. It's got some hook rash on it already.
I have a rash. Oh, never mind.
And it's been very, very durable. This is going to be a really hard bait for any tackle shop to keep on the shelf when these actually hit the market. And the swivel rings, thanks for that, bro. Swivel rings from Matt. When these hit the market, they're going to be really, really hard to keep on the shelves from any tackle store. Tackle Warehouse cannot fulfill their pre-orders yet. And just huge shout out to 44 Tackle Company and Chris for getting these out to us. Chris is on Wheeler right now fishing. So $60. That's the other thing. Dustin makes a good point right there. The OG Chad Shad in this bait, it's a $150 glide bait. We're looking at $60 for this bait right now. I'm used to throwing $150, $200 baits. So when I go down to throwing a $60 glide bait, I'm ready to throw this thing into some sketchy shit to make that bite happen, because it just $60 is $60. I'm not saying it's not a lot of money, but losing $60 and losing $200, big difference. So I almost have a higher level of confidence with this bait than I did the OG bait. And I've connected on the very first 3 hours that I had this bait tied on, connected with several fish, had lots of follows, and that's exactly what we're here for with these glide baits. It's a search bait. You're finding fish, you're finding those followers, you're going back and you're connecting on those fish in those areas with other baits, or you're grinding them out and you're finding those ones that are eager to eat the big ones. So, fantastic bait. Shout out to 44 Tackle. Actually going to see if I can go on his web page right now, and we're going to go check out and see what he's got going on.
Got it going on. Something like that.
Got it going on.
Matt Montgomery's texting my phone right now.
Why does it sound like somebody's calling me? Look on the back of my phone. Somebody calling my phone?
It's Kevin Peon Parsons.
Calling my phone?
Yeah. He's probably trying to call into the show.
He is probably trying to call into the show. Hold on. I'm gonna do this really quick. We're gonna get Kevin to call in. Add your camera to OB. Is that what it is? Does it create a room? Shit. Remote screen share into OBS. I don't think that's it either. I can't remember which one it's supposed to be.
We're trying to call in Kevin the Peon.
Yeah, we're trying to call in Kevin Peon Parsons here.
Live from Lake Anna. Kevin vacates at Lake Anna, pool 3, private side. Like everyone there has a poodle. Can I just say I think a poodle is like an animal that shouldn't exist?
It's a little mean, don't you think?
I mean, yeah, but it's true.
All right, and here we go right here. I'm going to copy this link. I'm going to go here. We're going to find Kevin.
What you looking for? Oh, you gotta send him the thing.
Yep.
The thing.
Gotta send him that thing.
I wonder how. How like freaking what's it called? Delayed it's gonna be. Hopefully it's not that delayed. Kevin, we just sent you the vidya.
I think this will work. I think if he joins this, he should be able to call in here on Bass and Beer Radio. I don't do this call-in. I haven't done this call-in feature too much on the OBS software, so I'm really just not sure. Kevin, I know you just called me. Kevin sees it.
Was the last time we did this when I did it? When I was away at school and stuff?
It was.
Shit, that was a long time. So we probably have to like work on this a little bit because we would definitely want to start calling you guys in because it just makes it more fun. Like we've had Make Jarden come on. Okay, hold on. Here he is.
Even though we can't even see him. Wait, so how do I put it on?
So
the
here,
screen
his
now?
muted. So go ahead. Okay, now he's unmuted.
Kevin, say something, bro.
Hello?
Kevin?
I think it's the delay again.
I wonder if a copy solo view link
Add
add
to
to
scene 1.
I have no idea if this is working right now.
So we don't see him on the Facebook. Okay. Yeah, so we're going to take some time to get this straight because we need to get this right. What's that?
Use in OBS or other studio software to capture the group video.
What about the buttons on the top there where it says like next to the Gesundheit? Shit. Transfer. What does that mean? I don't know what that is. We'll let him out. Goodbye. All right, we're figuring this out. What about? Damn, this is like difficult. We don't know how to do this. Did he just drop off? He dropped off.
He dropped off. I have no idea what's going on right now.
Okay, here, send me the link.
All right.
Send me, and then we'll mess with it while we continue our talk here. Yeah, just send it to my Facebook.
This link, copy the link here. We're going to go find Tony. T-O. Oh, look, there he is. Tony Schultz.
Dude, that guy's boat looks sick.
That guy's boat's so gay.
Yeah, kind of. It's a Ranger, though, so he's probably got a big wiener. What?
Oh, my God. But, anyway, so we're going to go back to this 44 tackle here, and this is 44tackle.com's website. 44tackle.com, right up here. Can't miss it. Dude's got one of these baits right here. You guys definitely don't need to buy those. Forget about them. All right, you didn't see that sitting right there. Oh, ooh, look at the Shimano. He's got bait casters, Stanleys. This is all the freak. He's got some good stuff in here. I don't know. What do we want to type in? What's one thing that we want to look up and see what he's got? Fishing tackle, fishing lines, soft baits, hard baits, storage and accessories.
Why did I just get a text for clergy abuse victims?
I don't know.
Just because I went to a Catholic school, okay, doesn't mean that I was touched inappropriately by a father of God or a man of God. So Kevin just said he doesn't know why it's not working. Kevin, we're sorry. This is totally on our end. We can't figure it out. We have to do our homework on this because there's a lot of... We couldn't figure out how to pull you onto the screen. Could you hear us? Because we were trying to talk to you, but I don't know if you could hear us because it was like super interesting. I don't know. Those are good looking swim baits, actually.
Yeah.
Gambler makes good baits. Gambler Big Easy. Yeah, those are really nice, dude.
Gambler, Reaction Innovations, Z-Man, Kaya Tech, Zoom. Oh my God, you guys did not just see the Mega Bass Hog Shed. The Z-Man Razor, Strike King, Missile Baits. I mean, he's got everything going on here. Look, now we're getting into the glides. We got the 6 cents draw 9-inch glide bait. He's got lots of good stuff on here, actually.
Yeah, that's actually looks pretty good, man.
God, what are these dogs barking at?
Hey, man, this is pretty good, man.
Pretty good, bro.
Where your clothes at?
Pretty good. Shallow cranks, 0 to 5. What do we got? Yozuri, Lucky Craft, Rapala. We got some Spro on here. 6 cents. Strike King. Lots of good stuff on here. This is personally one of my first times. I've gone on here and browsed before, but actually just taking my time, kind of going through stuff.
Oh, that's a good bait. The BX Brat is one of my favorite crankbaits. Man.
Checking all the stuff out. Buzz baits. Ooh, greenfish. Greenfish, Strike King. Oh, he's got the Firecracker on here from Jackall. That's a little bit of JDM fire.
I like it.
Yeah. So 44tackle.com, everybody. He's got a lot of different stuff on here. As you can see, hooks, all the good stuff. Big shout out to Chris for getting us those glide baits out. And what else did we want to talk about tonight, my friend? We're only at 9:30, which is like an early night for us. I don't even know if we can like call it yet.
It is, but we usually have Tweedledee and Tweedledum to help us, create nonsense. I I don't know, man. Dude, I think we've kind of covered a lot of stuff. I mean, I know a lot of people got tournaments this weekend. I know we've been going later than usual recently, so I don't think it's a crime to call it somewhat early tonight. I'm trying to get up early and go fishing in the morning.
Did you
That's
click
just
on
me.
that link on your phone?
I did, and it told me something about permissions. I didn't have it, so it was annoying. I can
Okay.
try it again, but yeah, we definitely need to get smart on this, man, because it's like if we ever want to call somebody in again, we're gonna be caught with our pants down with this.
Yeah. We just need to take time and play with it when we're actually not.
So mine says it's
Live.
waiting for honestly, it says it's waiting for the camera to load. What's on the camera? See, it says the permissions access to the camera microphone was denied. Something about the British, I don't know. But yeah, it's not good. I don't know what the fuck's going on with it. Let me try to call in. Oh, screen. Yeah, I don't know, dude. This is like weird.
Try that one.
You just sent me another one?
Yeah. So you can have up to 4 guests. That's what I'm trying to say.
Dude, that's like a gang fun time. Right?
I wonder if I was just like pick it up and like drag it over into our screen or something weird.
I was going to suggest that, but I don't know. I'm trying to load this up on my phone right now so we can figure this out, but I don't know. Camera timed out. It's something about my permissions on my phone.
I definitely think it's on our end. I need to take this link over here in the green box and I need to do something with it. Basically, we need to get off here and watch a YouTube video.
Yeah, essentially. That's what needs to happen. So we're gonna get better at this, and we're gonna start calling you guys in because having you all on is what makes this a lot more fun. And I will say the video quality for whatever we're using now is actually really, really good, better than OBS. But the delays sucks, so we gotta figure it out. But we will figure it out.
That's a hey, thanks a lot, Dan, for posting the link up there in the comments. That's definitely a good idea. We should have thought to post a link in the comments.
Yeah, no, thanks, Dan. We appreciate it.
Yep,
So
big time.
Martin says Poche and Swindle are beefing. Yeah, that's a big thing too. So
That's because Poche posted something that Swindle put
Swindle
in
essentially
like
did the same shit. I mean, he
20
jumped-
years ago. Rules change.
Okay. Why would a rule about this change when there's been no reason for it to change?
I don't know.
It hasn't. That's why.
Something's changed.
Dude, I like Gerald Swindle and I like Keith Poche, and I think that I don't think they're beefing. I think it's more of, Swindle said something and Poche said, okay, well, this, I will say this. I've said it before. There's nobody. Keith Poche has never been talked about so much in bass fishing until now. I mean, he's being DQ'd.
Well, even the negative publicity is
Right.
really good publicity for Keith Poche.
Here's the
To
thing.
be honest with you,
If you've never
not
heard
to be
about,
like a
right.
negative Nancy or nothing, but
If you've never heard about Keith Poche and the first thing you did after hearing about all this is going to Keith Poche and watching Off the Grid, you're probably going to keep watching Keith Poche. Dude, I know people, man, like when I went to Deep Creek last year with some of my buddies from high school, they're not serious fishermen. Like they're not serious tournament fishermen. Love them to death. They're some of my closest friends. But I remember putting on Keith Poche's Off the Grid, and these guys were glued to it. Like, dude, this is awesome. Like, this is really, really cool. And those are guys that don't tournament fish. So I think the average person is drawn to what Keith Poche does more than what Jacob Wheeler does. The average guy doesn't have live scope on a $170,000 bass boat. It's just more guys have 17 or 16 to 18 foot John boats that they can go jump a sandbar with.
that's what I was trying to say earlier. I said I think taking the Keith Poche's element out of bass fishing, I think is damaging to bass fishing because the guys that relate with the fellas on the 18-foot boats that are trying to go out there and compete with the pros, or not even the guys that are on the 18-foot aluminum boats, the guys that have 19-foot fiberglass boats that want to go pro, the guys that are running 20-footers with 200s on it, right. The guys that want to compete with less are rooting on underdogs. In my opinion, I'm going to call Keith Poche an underdog simply, and he puts himself in that category.
Yeah, just by what he runs.
Just by what he runs. He's underpowered. He's got 3 people on his boat. Wood's got an official, a cameraman, and himself, all of his equipment, all of his sonar and all that stuff, poles, and a Mercury 150.
Yep. Oh, I'm telling you. I think it's a 115, actually. It might be a 115.
That's even more painful.
Yeah. No, I respect the hell out of what he does. I
So
really do.
I really enjoy watching it. I think it's good. I think taking that element away from fishing. Oop, I just kicked the camera stand. I think taking that element away from fishing takes away what a lot of us, like you're saying, a lot of what all of us are. Like, I don't have a 115 to go flying across a sandbar, but I'll be damned if I didn't see a sandbar and wouldn't be willing to run into it with my John boat.
Dude, I've seen you run the flat before. Like,
8 inches, 6 to 8 inches of water, just full bore.
I'm not doing that. Hell no, I'm not doing that. Like, but again, that's part of, like,
Dude, that's part of what we do.
that's part of the reason why I've gotten out of, why I don't really watch a lot of professional bass fishing is because it's so far removed from your average angler. Like, your average angler is a guy that's
Right.
got a 10-year-old bass
Not
boat.
running 80, 90 miles in
Right.
a tournament.
Now, I'm not saying your average guy is Keith Boucher, but your average guy is somebody like me who's got
An 18 or a 19 foot
Right.
fiberglass.
dude. I got a
with
23.
200.
I got a 24-year-old boat.
Yeah.
It's 24 years old. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm way more apt to fish closer to Keith Boucher style versus Jacob Wheeler style. I'm not running 98 miles in the tournament one way to go catch fish because I'm running an old motor. I'm good. I'm good for right now. I'm not running, I'm not running a brand new 2023 Pro X or Pro XS 4-stroke that I know if I blow it up, I'm good. Like, if I run from the freaking flats down to the gunpowder and I blow up, whose dime is that on? Mine. You know what I'm saying? So there's, it's a lot of part of that's
True, you're lucky me and Kevin found you at Lake Anna.
Yeah, right. So, you're exactly right, dude. Like, it's
I just cut my knuckle open on a beer cap.
hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Give a little blood every day.
So what else? I mean, we kind of covered a lot of stuff today.
Dude, we went over the Bass Militia tournament recap. You've taken first. Martin took second place for this current tournament. Who's second place in the points? Is it Dusty?
I believe it's Dustin. And then I'd have to look. I'm pretty sure. So I'm at 34, and I know whoever's in second, I believe it's Dustin's at 30.
And then
Now that's without drop points. So drop points is a whole other thing. But
we did a little bit of a River Rats recap with
we did.
Kevin and Powers in second place, and then who was it? Was it Ken Berry in first?
Ron Stierstorfer.
Ron Stierstorfer in first. I apologize. And so we went over that. We talked about the Spro KBG Chad Sads. Tackle Warehouse says 5:31. So tomorrow is the 20th. So 2 weeks from now, they're saying that these will be coming back in stock on Tackle Warehouse. If you have not pre-ordered, I'm not telling you to go pre-order. Don't screw up my order. But I might go snag one or two of these. These are $60 a glide bait. And like I said, the OG was about 150. And this swims, identical. Identical. ROF is a little bit different. Your rate of fall, it's identical. This is my confidence glide bait. Period. The OG one was my confidence one. The fact that I can get one for $60 and throw it up in a laydown and not be as nervous about it is just a bonus. I would go buy one or two of these, and you don't need to go out and fish these and be a big bait fisherman. But you should learn how to utilize this as a tool. And that's where I'll leave it at that on the Spro KBG. Learn to utilize it as a tool. And then we went over 44 Tackle.
We did.
And 44 Tackle had a very well put together website.
Yeah.
The customers,
Definitely.
one of the things I'm going to say as well, the customer service at 44 Tackle was fantastic. They reach out, they talk back, they give feedback. That alone in itself stretches for me.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I'm saying?
100%.
I would rather give my business to somebody who's willing to talk to me and give me feedback, and somebody that I can, hey, like I had this issue or this bait was sick. Thank you.
Right.
I like that. I hit up Tackle Warehouse and they're just like, we don't know.
Thanks for your email.
Thanks for spending $120 with us 7 months ago. We really appreciate you. It'll come eventually.
Right. Yeah, really.
Oh, okay. Did we send you the free sticker?
Or the
like-
T-shirt.
Yeah. Oh, I always get the T-shirt. Come on.
Yeah, me too. I have an obscene amount of Tackle Warehouse T-shirts.
Absolutely. But do you have anything else that you want to add to our podcast tonight, my brother?
Not really. I just wish everybody that's out there going fishing this weekend best of luck. Be safe out there. Catch a bunch of fish and send us some pictures. Please send us pictures. If you guys send us pictures, we'll post it. We're happy to post the stuff that y'all send to us, because at the end of the day, what we do here is for all of us. This isn't about us. It's about you guys. So if you have pictures, please send them. We'll be happy to post them.
Oh, is the horn gone?
What's that one on the top left?
Gay!
Nice. How have we not used that yet? Dude, how have we not used that yet?
No, God! No, God, please, no! No!
That's me when I lose a
No!
fish.
No!
That's me when that's every tournament when I lose a fish.
We have some fantastic, funny soundboards on here. But with that, we are going to end this podcast for the night.
Perfect.
Thank you guys for joining in tonight. We appreciate you guys, and we will see you guys really soon. Peace out. I'm going to hit stop recording and stop streaming. I meant to freaking say something about our shirts, too.
right? Oh, I'm not saying like